This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories on our desk tonight. Caged UPND official MUBITA NAWA freed after spending 2 weeks in police custody. Democratic Party promises better as it tests the waters in MANDEVU constituency. Construction workers at Mwembeshi prison protest over bad working conditions. In international news, hundreds in Senegal hold protest in support of the Palestinians. And in sports news, FAS delegates approve quota system. Let's take a breather. Join me shortly for the details.
The much awaited for Camnet conference is now scheduled for May 2021 with your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
We have believed that every Zambian was born for greatness, and that you and I can contribute to the development of this nation.
The big questions to ask are, can Zambia develop through agriculture? Can we produce indigenous Zambian millionaires? Plan not to miss this national conference on empowering Zambians through agriculture knowledge. Dates, 28th to 29th May 2021. Time, 07:30 hours to 16:30 hours. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Charges, 950 kwacha, lunch inclusive for both days. Payments through via mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010, or you can pay via Stanbic bank account number 913000 1825 325. Speakers will be Professor Reda.
We need Zambia to be one of the best nations in Africa.
Professor Munkumba.
If you just listen to a lecture, you may remember hardly anything. In 2 weeks' time, it's all gone. If you read, you may remember 10% of what you've read. If you participate in a discussion, 50% retention of the knowledge. So I always tell people, knowledge is the only thing that when you share it, you don't lose it.
Professor Msongole.
Agriculture can actually solve our unemployment for our youth. Through exports, agricultural exports, we can also stabilize our foreign exchange.
Honorable Bob Chinga.
When you do a budget, you plan it so that all the sectors, especially those that could give you low-lying fruits, in other words, you can achieve a lot with it, are the first things you do first.
And biologist Kamweneshe.
If we came together and put our hands together and concentrate on the soil. The people in Kenya, these Swahili people said, Dongo ni mali, means soil, that's money.
Register your participation through Camnet lines. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Once again, thank you for choosing us. The news in detail. Construction workers at CHIMBOKAILA prison in Mwembeshi constituency have called on relevant authorities to help them secure contracts from their employers. The workers have lamented to Camnet TV that they have been subjected to harsh working conditions by their employer, Mukoyo Ventures Limited. Speaking on behalf of the workers, Gift Chisenga says that the workers have been issued with threats of dismissal if they don't stop complaining about the bad working conditions. The construction of Mwembeshi prison is part of the many projects launched in 2016 by President Edgar Lungu, which, when completed, is expected to increase the holding capacity of inmates. Prudence Chota filed this report.
28th May 2016, President Edgar Lungu launched the construction of 2 state-of-the-art correctional facility and 72 staff houses for the Zambian Correctional Service in Mwembeshi. The project is being implemented under the public-private partnership with Mukoyo Ventures Limited and Sotec Enterprise Limited. The project combined together will cost $21 million United States dollars. But construction workers of Mwembeshi prison have claimed that they have not been given any contract from the time the project commenced in 2016, citing hard labor without having to get their leave days, among other challenges.
Tuambie nita 2016 nomba takulifa watupela takuwa wama leave days takuwa wama ama holidays na ngutwa mama single ticket so tulilisha amwani kubuteko mtu afilisheko twanaka na wena wa mwenyawa katusha mafundanga wa itana mafunda ku India ngeo tulewomera munta twaishi baife mwani twanaka twaesheshera shonze chali shupaka tushenga nishi
taisa kwamba ko bana apsa bana bwera obwera ko bale ba taitana ko bakansela bandani wa chairman kuesa okuna uko aputa manje sitona mazauti yaliyonse ya next month bana apsa babwera talembesa mazina time tinambira kwa manjito na maina asiti hapa nao waendelea. So hapa stizi anaweza shtika hapa manje hapa.
These workers have complained that efforts to engage the Labour Ministry and other bodies in the matter have yielded no fruitful results, as they keep receiving threats of losing their job should they keep pressurizing management on this matter.
So today ilishanya kubuteko kwa bati tibatorokesha hapo boss tatwasa ndapa ma leave days tatwasa inapo contract form then inangukuya finangu panze kwa tiwe ku toilet fyonse bara tukanya. So twashupikwa sana palifyo but na tweshera na makakuisha ko kulanda kona bareba banapusa bonze fyonse tafitika fingi fyo tule tamu fyonse. So tulero mbobuteko wati urokeshepo kwa mkuu ventures bozenga twaroresha pa inoshita na tupushe nshito shonze ishitula mkupusha nomba. So tatuishibe kwa wati bakatupera ma benefit yesu. So tulero mbakubuteko
nasebenza pano pa mkuu kuyamba 2016 kufikira pa time ina mene nilipo. Tasebenza kulipa kutisainisa contract form ili yonse kulipe. Malamulo ya government yali yonse sibaya konka. Tikafunza machili chose wakambebele nchito tizakupisholo uzaenda maetik daba ni shikutuyu mwenya na bwera na malamulo yake kuchoka ku India olo bwanji.
And efforts to get a comment from company management could not materialize, as this reporter was directed to write a press query to the company and wait for their response. Workers at this site are human beings and are just trying to provide for their families by doing what they do, but this does not necessitate that they be treated any less than their superiors. It is hoped that the relevant authority can hear the cry of these workers and intervene in this matter. Prudence Tota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Some residents of Lusaka's Kanyama compound have charged that politicians who always come to beg their votes during election time and disappear after will not be given a chance this time. Speaking to Camnet TV in an exclusive interview, the residents disclosed that they were not allowed to be abused this time around. Meanwhile, they have disclosed that the security issues in Kanyama are worrisome because of the lack of a police post in Kanyama West. Miriam Kayemba filed this report.
While most Zambians continue to live in poverty, they, however, continue to live with the hope that those elected into public office will attend to their daily struggles and ensure that a conducive environment is created for them to live a better life. Being a campaign period with the elections near, many promises are being made by those who thrive to hold public offices on what they will do for the majority citizens once elected into office. However, despite the sweetness of the promises made, many electorate fear that most promises made by politicians will never be fulfilled once elected into office. Their plight is that anyone who is voted to represent them should look into their struggles.
Number one, vintu vakwera, unga, dola ya kwera, unga pamanje fringa wapwezeko, mayona. Tosi titandizweko wazimai maskuru fees futi ya tabwanji yaenda pamwamba. So president wazankala hapo funga bonse vija bintu apwezako ma prices kuti aliyense wesa sevenza rova because bintu bonse vichitika hivi bajali ma senza ma government ndiye mamvera ko mushi ise bantu weti marova mkamba youth empowerment still organize maiona youth empowerment corruption futi yankala pa number 1. So tufuna divonse vya visire mutangala president vya vonse visire corruption isire because nisakira nchito ene ora hapa ninachita kuita nachita ko reply kushane kwa the police kuita reply futi wanuza ati no at least watapasa kwa 1000 undusakira nchito futi wakuza tu upeleke ndrama. A
call has been made by these residents to those with the intentions of representing them that once elected, they should be their first priority.
In time ya campaign, no, mafuna like we as a mirira or kapena we as angala mu parliament state house we tifuna at tandis at one case bantu ovutika
Etivuti okanyama number 1 insecurity chibe ma police manapanya ma police Kanyama West Police and then Trisha. Second, you are suffering for drainage. They didn't make one drain that side. This side there's no water passing to this side. So this side you are suffering for water to ngena manyumba matu. Etivuti kama ningi mwamakanya.
Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News.
In a related development, the Biomedical Union of Zambia says whoever will emerge victorious after the August 12th general elections should consider appointing people in higher positions based on merit in order for them to table the current challenges being faced in the country. Union General Secretary Inambao Sitwala says positions such as directors, permanent secretary and ministers should be reserved for qualified personnel who understand the duty their positions hold. Mr. Sitwala's comments are based on the newly launched manifesto by trade unions, which they want political parties aspiring to be in power after the August elections to adopt. Meanwhile, United Party for National Development UPND Chairman for Research Policy Joseph Lungu says his party will adopt and study the manifesto launched by the trade unions in order to understand how best civil servants can be helped.
We are very, very much optimistic that if our manifesto is being put in place, it is going to change quite a number of things, especially for the worker. The first thing is about the aspect of professional meritocracy. We talk about professional meritocracy, we talk about right people in right positions, people that are qualified for the jobs. That are from the position of directorship up to PS and up to any other position that is down there. Let them be looking at the aspect of merit, especially when things are not going very well economically. It's high time that they consider also individuals that may also help, regardless of how they look at things, but we implore government that they have a wider consultation.
Most of Zambian workers are heavily indebted. They owe various financial institutions loans, advances, and in some cases they owe payroll debts. That is one of the challenges that our workers face. Now, speaking nationally, the economy of this country owes in excess of $20 billion. That is affecting the workers' purchasing power. So as a government, what we intend to do is we need to address the debt problem. And we have actually said how we are going to address that debt problem. What we shall do is, to start with, we need to stop borrowing. There must be a moratorium on debt borrowing. We should stop.
United Party for National Development Presidential Aide MUBITA NAWA has charged that those who case him for 14 days cannot break him because Zambia is moving forward. Speaking to the media shortly after his release from custody on bond, Mr. NAWA says despite having faced challenges, he remained strong and prayed for change because that is what Zambia needs at the moment. Mr. NAWA was arrested on the 10th of May 2021 in relation to a video that went viral on social media and charged with defamation of the president, contrary to the laws of Zambia. Miriam Kaimba filed this report.
I'll be there for inauguration. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
At last, he has been released after spending 14 days and nights in custody. United Party for National Development Presidential Aide MUBITA NAWA, who was arrested on the 10th of May 2021 on a charge of defamation of the president in relation to a video that went viral on social media, with a smile on his face, says it cannot be broken.
So happy not to be free. I was free inside. I was free inside. Even a caged bird sings. Even broken crayons color. And I want to say to everybody who fabricated this, Tamwakankwanishe. And I want to congratulate the President Hakainde Hichilema, and our mother, Reverend Madam, her honor, Mutalena Lumango, for a demonstration of how, and those who caged me for 14 days, you can't break me. You can't, because Zambia is moving forward.
Mr. NAWA, who was released Saturday afternoon from QUOTA police station where he was detained, was noticed limping, but during an interview with the media says it is due to a short illness he suffered while in incarceration.
And I want the record to show today that the Director of Public Prosecution and NPA have refused to take this matter to court because they've said there is no case. Yes. They have refused. And no kulwagashal wele pathes okay, kalisa tripa. Kalisa tripa. You know, I was upset, Mamayo. I said, how can people be this evil? There is no case. I'm entitled to be seen in 48 hours. You keep me there in a 4 meter by 4 meter, sleeping on cold floor. But I tell you, I took care of each one of those prisoners. Fed them, paid their bonds. I was a lawyer in there.
Meanwhile, UPND running mate Talina Lumango says what Mr. NAWA went through is unreasonable, which NAWA, meaning Zambian, should be subjected to.
You really wonder, this is illegality that is going on. When we talk of lack of rule of law, no rule of law, this is what it means. Because if you arrest a person, you must have already investigated and find out that there is a reason for their arrest, and therefore they should be charged within 48 hours.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
United Party for National Development Alliance Media Director Thabo Kawana has disputed claims by the Patriotic Front that a group of its members ferried from Solwezi to Lusaka are stranded after the UPND and its alliance partners abandoned them. Mr. Kawana notes that on Friday, government, through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, in a statement, announced that 100 people ferried to Lusaka by an independent presidential candidate, Musua Kalabi, were stranded. Mr. Kawana has wondered how the PF has twisted the story, circulating on most social media blogs, and in it, the UPND have been accused to be behind it. Details in this.
Friday, 21st May 2021, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, reported that over 100 supporters for the independent presidential candidate Musua Kalabi, who were ferried from Solwezi, had been left stranded for the past 3 days without food and water after Kalabi failed to file in his nomination as president. The supporters, who were mostly youths and women, were left stranded at intercity bus terminals.
We need help from him. We have struggled, please. We don't have water. We haven't, so this morning we have not eaten anything. And we don't have transport. We want to go. We have children.
District Disaster Management Committee Chairperson David Silubandi said government would take up the cost of feeding the stranded people and find them transport to ferry them back to Solwezi.
These people are left by the independent candidate, presidential independent candidate, who will take over the government and who make sure that we feed them and we repatriate them to their homes. But this is a lesson to all of you outside there. Please, you must be very careful what you are doing. Don't just follow blindly or anything.
But in a twist of event, the Patriotic Front have entangled the United Party for National Development, UPND, into the matter, accusing them of ferrying the over 100 people to Lusaka and abandoning them. But UPND Alliance Media Director Thabo Kawana has denied these claims, adding that all those UPND supporters who came out in numbers during the nomination time did that at their own free will because they believe in the leadership being offered by Hakainde Hichilema and his alliance partners.
We want to put it on record and confirm that those are not UPND Alliance members. Those are members of a political party or an individual who is actually trying to file as an independent candidate and had nothing to do with what was happening on that day when President Hakainde Hichilema was filing. It will interest them to know, especially the PF, that the crowds they saw at Mulungushi were the people of Lusaka that walked from all corners of Lusaka and walked. They didn't even have transport money to jump on a bus. They walked all the way from their various locations just to come and witness the filing in
of their savior, of their son, of their person, that they so desire that he takes over the realms of governance of this country for the betterment of the people of Zambia, together with his team of alliance partners. So we want to make it very clear that such propaganda will only go to deceive themselves, but not the people of Zambia, because the people of Zambia themselves know what they want. That is why you saw people that call themselves the bulldozer could be booed in their own constituencies by people that they thought they had manipulated enough, they had impoverished enough, that when they stand on the rooftop of their vehicles and throw a few kwachas, they will cry for them and they will cheer them on. But yesterday you saw what happened to the bulldozer in Kabushi, where the people demanded change, showed him the UPND symbol, and made it very clear to him.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Patriotic Front PF Provincial Secretary Mwenya Matafwali says no one should start considering themselves popular because of the huge crowds they carried during the filing in of nominations. In an interview in Lusaka, Mr. Matafwali disclosed that it is unthinkable for one to say they can win an election because of such gatherings. He says the Patriotic Front Party will once again this year win the election because it has delivered according to the people's expectations.
They are not recognized there. So what you do behind the curtain at that actual day of boxing is the thing that you have done that shows what you have been doing. So taking clouds to escort you does not make you popular. There is a saying that even fools grow into old people. So when you see sometimes people flocking to come and see you, you have promised them 10 kwacha, 20 kwacha, you are promising something that way. If they escort you, then you come and give them something. You're just fooling yourself. As PF, I don't think we are going to fool ourselves, and we will take the guidelines from the Ministry of Health and we go by that. Like I said, we showed that by an example in His Excellency the President Dr. Ike was filing his nomination. He could have called all the wards, the constituencies. I think historically we have filled the stadium before. There's nothing that can stop us filling it again if that was called. But I think it's uncalled for. It's not necessary. This is the government that has performed, and people vote based on the argument on what the Patriot Front has done, where we are from, where we are, and where we are going. There is a direction everyone can see and can feel it. So, yeah, we abide by the COVID guidelines, campaigns.
Democratic Party President Harry Kalaba and his entourage Saturday tested the waters as they flagged off a campaign in Lusaka's MANDEVU compound and promised the residents a better life once given an opportunity to lead this country. Speaking to journalists after he flagged off the campaign, Mr. Kalaba explains that people in MANDEVU are suffering due to lack of good sanitation and proper water supply. Mr. Kalaba has also cited poor road infrastructure, lack of market shelters for marketeers as some of the challenges that the community members are facing in MANDEVU. The DP leader has since assured the community members who thronged in numbers from the surrounding communities to rally behind the party as it is the solution for the many challenges being faced not only in MANDEVU but the country at large.
Siku ya leo ndio kama hapo. Ninakuzani nikasema wao kuno
misungamiko yao ya wasoma ibara. Kalama! 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 Kuno kwatu mavuto ya Shiramo, mapini ya Shiramo, manzi ya Shiramo kuvuta, maloti ya kuvuta, matia pera mandelero, matia pera mandelero.
You're watching Camnet News. Let's take a breath. Don't go away.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF have facilitated increased electricity generation to 3,000 megawatts from 1,767 megawatts in 2011. Vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
Every day for me means hard work. Going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
Oh yes, it's Mayday all the way. You've worked hard. Now it's time to play even harder with entertainment that you'll absolutely love this month on GoTV. Okay, shake things up a little and you'll never know what drama will fall. No matter your age, there's always some fun to be had. And if it ain't broke, they'll fix it anyway. For your favorite shows, stay connected to GoTV to get into Mayday entertainment.
Find something to distract me.
You got it, no problem.
GoTV, love it.
The much awaited for Camnet conference is now scheduled for May 2021 with your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
We have believed that every Zambian was born for greatness, and that you and I can contribute to the development of this nation.
The big questions to ask are: can Zambia develop through agriculture? Can we produce indigenous Zambian millionaires? Plan not to miss this national conference on empowering Zambians through agriculture knowledge. Dates: 28th to 29th May 2021. Time: 0730 hours to 1630 hours. Venue: the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Charges: 950 kwacha, lunch inclusive for both days. Payments through via mobile money on 0962 965 883 or 0979 753 010, or you can pay via Stanbic bank account number 91 300-1825-325. Speakers will be Professor Reda.
We need Zambia to be one of the best nations in Africa.
Professor Munkumba.
If you just listen to a lecture, you may remember hardly anything. In 2 weeks' time, it's all gone. If you read, you may remember 10% of what you've read. If you participate in a discussion, 50% retention of the knowledge. So I always tell people, knowledge is the only thing that when you share it, you don't lose it.
Professor Msongole.
Agriculture can actually solve our unemployment for our youth. Through exports, agricultural exports, we can also stabilize our foreign exchange.
Honorable Bob Chinga.
When you do a budget, you plan it so that all the sectors, especially those that will give you low-lying fruits, in other words, you can achieve a lot with it, are the first things you do first.
And biologist Kamweneshe.
If we came together and put our hands together and concentrate on the soil. The people in Kenya, these Swahili people said, Dongo ni mali, means soil, that's money.
Register your participation through Camnet lines. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You're watching Camnet News. Thank you so much for staying on. The National Democratic Congress Party spokesperson, Franklin Membe, has charged that Zambia's legal system is weak, hence having many people ignore the court orders. Addressing the media Saturday, Mr. Membe says a statement issued by faction NDC leader Savoy Mboila that they have won the case against the Akafumba-led NDC on the Copper Belt is false and misleading. He explains that the case is still in the courts of law, which is expected to be heard at the end of this month. Mr. Membe adds that the injunction against the Savoy-led NDC is still in effect, hence making all activities being done by them contempt of court.
No case that has been won. The order that was issued by the Ndola High Court against us is that we stay the proceedings in terms of the case that is before the court. In other words, the court cannot proceed with the proceedings of the matter, and we cannot proceed with committal charges, with committal order. The committal order that the court gave us was to make Tshimbakambwili, Saboya Mboila, and their agents and servants to appear before the High Court to explain why they should not be sent to jail. Because the case of contempt is one that requires one to be sent to jail without trial. You understand what I'm saying? A case of contempt is where one can be sent to jail without trial. And so therefore, we won that case in the sense that Tshimbakambwili, Saboyi Mbaola, Mr. Mbulo, and all those people that have been masquerading as NDC officials have now been asked by the court to come to the court on the 29th of June to explain why, to tell the court why they should not be jailed.
Our Civic Duty Association, OSIDA, says actions taken relating to election issues to the Constitutional Court are a positive development in a democratic country like Zambia. OSIDA Administrative Secretary Simon Kabanda says the Zambian Constitution requires refinement and that such court cases are going to help in the process. Mr. Kabanda says the Constitutional Court is a final arbitrator in election disputes or election-related uncertainties, adding that it is at a time like this that the Constitutional Court ought to be appreciated.
The actions of taking election-related issues to the Constitutional Court are a positive development. The Constitutional Court is one of the new features in the 2016 amended Constitution. Our Constitution requires refinement, and such court cases are going to help in refining the Constitution. A few years ago, there was a process that government commenced to refine the Constitution. Unfortunately, that noble process was shortchanged. The process deviated from refinement of the Constitution to making substantive and in fact retrogressive amendments which would have taken the country's democracy backwards. It is at a time like this, that is elections time, when the Constitutional Court ought to be appreciated.
The National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, says there is need for more information exchange between the authority implementers of the National Health Insurance Scheme and the community. NEMA Director General James Kapesa says his tour of Northwestern Province has revealed that there are gaps in the implementation of NEMA programs at some health facilities accredited to the authority. Zanis has more on this.
Rich or poor, quality health care must be given to all without leaving anyone behind. This is the aspiration of the government of Zambia through the National Health Insurance System. Concluding the tour of Northwestern Province, the National Health Management Authority, NEMA, has arrived at the historic Kaleni Mission Hospital. Established in 1906 by pioneer missionary Dr. Walter Fisher, Kaleni Mission Hospital provides health care to a catchment population of about 45,000. NEMA Director General James Kapesa and his team are here to interact with management and stakeholders on NEMA programs. Implementers of the health insurance program here have expressed the need for more information on the operation of the scheme.
As members of staff, we don't have enough information concerning NEMA. And when it comes to the members of the community, the majority of the patients that we see are not members of, are not registered under NEMA. So that's the main challenge that we've had when it comes to claiming for NEMA funds.
The authority is aware of the administrative gaps existing in the implementation of NEMA services in accredited facilities and wants to see change.
There have been different levels of compliance in some hospitals. There's clearly gaps, and that's why we came, to support them and to point them into the right direction. There's going to be need for us to do a lot of information exchange with the teams. So information is a challenge, both with the implementers on the ground and also with the communities.
Quality health care for all is possible with an innovative financing system that supports healthcare providers. Victor Mwila Fozanis, Inikelengi, Northwestern Province.
Still in health news, Zambia has in the last 24 hours recorded the highest number of COVID-19 confirmed cases since March 2021. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kennedy Malama says 186 new confirmed cases were recorded, bringing the cumulative number of confirmed cases recorded to date at 93,106. Meanwhile, a 37-year-old male with diabetes and hypertension has died of COVID-19 in Kitwe, Copperbelt. Dr. Malama says the death has been classified as COVID-19 death, bringing the total number of COVID-19 deaths in the country to 1,267. The Permanent Secretary states that it is worrisome to note that this is the fourth day running the COVID-19 numbers have surpassed 100. He says the threat of the third wave in Zambia is becoming more imminent, hence the need for everyone to adhere to the prescribed COVID-19 prevention public health measures. Dr. Malama further says government is in the process of setting up a point-of-entry PCR testing facilities at points of entry to support one-day testing. You're still watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
This month, we're taking over your TV screen with brand new entertainment. A Border Patrol agent is forced to work for a Mexican cartel in Coyote.
My family! It's up to you to keep them safe.
A Ghanaian fashion designer weathers societal prejudice while chasing her dreams in 40 and Single.
Single lady to the dance floor.
A husband will stop at nothing to cover the tracks of his wife's outrageous crime in What If?
It is your responsibility to make sure that I come out clean.
3 chefs go head-to-head using ingredients chosen by their very own neighbors in Kitchen Crash.
Oh, I love it. It's blended. It's meat sauce.
There's meat sauce.
And there are wacky adventures galore when 2 families are forced to live together in Boy, Girl, Dog, Cat, Mouse, Cheese.
We can handle it.
It's your moment to be taken over with the freshest entertainment.
The much awaited for Camnet conference is now scheduled for May 2021 with your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
We have believed that every Zambian was born for greatness, and that you and I can contribute to the development of this nation.
The big questions to ask are, can Zambia develop through agriculture? Can we produce indigenous Zambian millionaires? Plan not to miss this national conference on empowering Zambians through agriculture knowledge. Dates, 28th to 29th May 2021. Time, 0730 hours to 1630 hours. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Charges, 950 kwacha, lunch inclusive for both days. Payments through via mobile money on 0962-965-883 or 0979-753-010. Or you can pay via Stanbic Bank account number 91-300-1825-325. Speakers will be Professor Reda.
We need Zambia to be one of the best nations in Africa.
Professor Munkumba.
If you just listen to a lecture, you may remember hardly anything. In 2 weeks' time, it's all gone. If you read, you may remember 10% of what you've read. If you participate in a discussion, 50% retention of the knowledge. So I always tell people, knowledge is the only thing that when you share it, you don't lose it.
Professor Msongole.
Agriculture can actually solve our unemployment for our youth. Through exports, agricultural exports, we can also stabilize our foreign exchange.
Honorable Bob Chinga.
When you do a budget, you plan it so that all the sectors, especially those that will give you low-lying fruits, in other words, you can achieve a lot with it, are the first things you do first.
And biologist Kamweneshe.
If we came together and put our hands together and concentrate on the soil. The people in Kenya, these Swahili people said, Dongo ni mali, means soil, that's money.
Register your participation through Camnet lines. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
You're still watching Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. In international news, hundreds of Senegalese are gathering in the nation's square. They want to see Palestinian people treated with dignity. In other global news, Al Jazeera also reports that desperate families in Morocco are looking for their children who may have crossed the border into Spain. Nearly 450 unaccompanied minors are among 8,000 people who try to take a swim, in effect, into Europe. That is after Morocco appeared to loosen controls. Here is a roundup of international stories.
After Friday prayers, Palestinians in occupied East Jerusalem were celebrating the ceasefire when Israeli police moved into the compound of Islam's third holiest site, Al-Aqsa, using tear gas and stun grenades. At least 15 people were injured.
We were confused and didn't know which way to move. We all feared we'd be hit by the grenades or rubber bullets being fired at us randomly and indiscriminately. Then we saw the Israeli occupation force soldiers storming the mosque and coming in our direction.
In Sheikh Jarrah, the neighbourhood where forced evictions of Palestinians sparked this latest round of fighting, there was a solidarity protest. What you can see behind me are Israeli activists for the organisation Peace Now. They're showing solidarity with the Palestinians of Sheikh Jarrah and of occupied East Jerusalem. However, let's contrast that with what's going on over here. That's a police checkpoint. Now, if you're Israeli, you can actually walk through that checkpoint without any harassment, without having to check your ID or anything. However, if you're Palestinian, your ID gets checked and you get turned away from that checkpoint. Say you're Palestinian and you want to go and see your friends or your family in Sheikh Jarrah, you're not allowed in. Both Israel and Hamas claimed they had won this 11-day-long battle that's killed more than 250 people. Benjamin Netanyahu delivered what many saw as a victory speech.
We stood united shoulder to shoulder, looking only at one thing, bringing back the security and quiet to the people of Israel. As the Prime Minister of Israel, the only thing that influences my decision is the safety and security of Israel in keeping its citizens and soldiers alive. The main goal of this operation was to hit the terrorist operation hard and bring back peace.
Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was equally triumphant.
To our Palestinian people and to all free men worldwide, I bring to you this good news of victory. It is the victory created by the Palestinian people. It is a victory carved by the noble blood of the fallen martyrs. Our resistance groups joined forces and dealt one heavy blow to the enemy.
With both sides claiming the upper hand, the focus is now slowly shifting back to what sparked this latest confrontation. Threatened forced expulsions in the neighbourhood of Sheikh Jarrah. The Israeli government insists it's a land dispute for a court to rule on, but the Palestinians living here don't have much faith in the judicial system. Palestinian Israeli politicians and activists now want the international community to accept and to rule Israel has fallen foul of international law.
Hundreds are gathering in the nation squares in support of the Palestinian people and calling out Israeli aggression. Some of them are holding posters saying that Jerusalem can only be Palestinian. Others are holding and chanting, "Down with Israel."
We would be ready to fight against the Israelis. It's deplorable that some countries have decided to stay silent in such a crisis.
There's been protests like this throughout Africa, from Johannesburg to Nairobi, where in Nigeria as well. Among those that are attending this protest are the Palestinian community that have had to flee their homeland in search for a better life here on the African continent.
It's really heartwarming, it's really amazing. And at the same time, I'm communicating to my family back home that see a lot of people are coming out for you. It makes them stronger, it makes them like more patient. It's amazing.
It's just something great. It's just something unbelievable. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of the Senegalese people, and I know how they love Palestine, and I know how they love Al-Aqsa.
Strong words from African leaders, from President Macky Sall last week, calling for an immediate ceasefire, to the South African President Ramaphosa describing the situation as being similar to South Africa under apartheid. But what these people want to see is more than words. They want to see Palestinian people treated with dignity.
This young man's dream of a better life in Europe ended before it began. His body washed up on the shores of Ceuta, a Spanish enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast. He was one of around 8,000 migrants who hoped to take advantage of what appeared to be a decision by the Moroccan authorities on Monday to relax border security. People swam or waded across as the tide dropped. It caught the Spanish authorities completely off guard.
It was a serious problem. We're used to migrants coming over the fence or arriving by boat, but we have never seen so many people arriving in such a short period of time and from one place.
The Moroccan government has been angered by Spain's decision to offer hospital treatment to the Western Sahara independence leader Brahim Ghali. The loosening of the border has been widely interpreted as retaliation. But by Wednesday, the flow of migrants ended.
We came here looking for a better quality of life. We don't have anything in Morocco. Everything is terrible. We're looking for a better life.
With so much suffering over there, we came here without any fear and with nothing. And what happens, happens.
Most of the migrants are now willingly going back to Morocco. The risks they took to cross to this little bit of Europe on the northern tip of Africa is an indication of just how difficult the economic circumstances remain on the other side of the border.
Well, that's it for international news. We now take our focus to sports news. Clubs in the Zambian Premier League will only be allowed to have 5 foreign-based players in their squad at the start of the 2021-2022 football season. This was after FAS approved a new quota system. The new quota system aims at giving an opportunity to local players game time and improve the quality and quantity of local players was unanimously approved by delegates at the 2020-2021 annual general meeting held in Kabwe. The vote ends a long-standing debate to the introduction of the quota system that goes as far back as 2020. ZESCO United Chief Executive Officer Richard Mulenga welcomed the move, calling on the association to effect a compliance date. Well, that's all we had for you in the news tonight. The headlines once again. Caged UPND official MUBITA NAWA freed after spending 2 weeks in police custody. Democratic Party promises better as it tests the waters in MANDEVU constituency. Construction workers at CHIMBOKAILA prison protest over bad working conditions. In international news, hundreds in Senegal hold protest in support of the Palestinians. And in sports news, FAS delegates approve quota system. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Proverbs 18, verse 20 to 21, and it reads, From the fruit of his mouth, a man's stomach is satisfied. He is filled with the product of his lips. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Well, that's all we had for you on the news desk. Thank you so much for choosing us. Remember to observe the COVID-19 health guidelines, especially with the threats of the third wave. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Thank you for watching. Good night.